Ik ben Vincent van Lommel. Wij hebben met AVL gebouwd omdat wij op zoek waren naar een bouwfirma die ons goed kon ondersteunen in het bouwproces, die ook met
his wish. But as soon as the door opened again, the boy dropped out. And at that exact same moment, a man was testing out a new camera lens. He snapped this chilling photo, capturing the death of the boy and his dreams.
Oh my gosh. I could barely get through airport security. How did this kid get on the plane runway? I feel like there's more things we have to talk about here, especially this photo, because apparently this is real. Now the comments say capturing someone's last moment by accident is surreal. Capturing the death of that boy in his dreams is truly heartbreaking. That's right. He was a boy pursuing his dreams to travel the world, and in the end he fell. For those wondering, this was about Keith Sapsford. He died February 22nd, 1970 in Sydney, Australia. Keith Sapsford, tragic death. It said it was a result of a desperate attempt to stow away in a plane. Now I hear about stowaways, people trying to get to different countries over certain borders, but this kid just wanted to see the world. They described the kid as a curious and restless child. When he was ejected, he fell 200 feet to his death, and the photograph from the photographer has become haunting. And here it is, the full photo. The black and white makes it creepy, and I don't like this at all. This accident happened back in 1970, but what if I told you this next tragic incident happened just last year? It's about a teen who murdered her boyfriend and her friend, and I've seen this story all over. Let's listen.
One night, this girl is driving down the road.
Now, I believe her name's Mackenzie.
She decides she wants to murder him. And so, kaboom, she slams the car directly into a brick wall. Now, the girl's name is Mackenzie, and Mackenzie's 17, living in Ohio, and she's kind of a wannabe influencer.
Oh, that's her.
Or at least her social media posts suggest that she wants to be one.
Apparently, this happened pretty recently, and I managed to find the real video of the crash. So we'll watch that later, but let's continue.
She'd probably make a great influencer. I mean, people say she's entitled, she's a mean girl, she's kind of a bully, so she'd fit right in. But despite being all that, there's one guy who still really likes her.
Her boyfriend.
This guy, Dominic. And Dominic and Mackenzie, they met back in school, and they've been dating.
Keep construction moving. Your tools should too. Set the standard. Be a power shifter.
Bij Pearl krijg je nu tot 40% korting op de glazen van je nieuwe bril of zonnebril op sterkte.
Pinda.
And they've been dating on and off for the past few years.
They honestly look pretty happy here, but I heard behind closed doors, these two were having fights. They were having disputes where they weren't getting along, and a lot of things that led to this. Now, when I search up Mackenzie car crash, it's the first thing that comes up. We're met with pictures of her and Dominic, and if we click this, the car is completely totaled. I mean, I don't even know how she survived that, but the evidence points that this was no accident. But the story became very popular, and a Netflix documentary got made about it. And let's see what it says. It says Mackenzie and her boyfriend Dominic got into an argument, and a friend allegedly heard Mackenzie say, "I will crash this car right now." Not too long later, the car drove 100 miles an hour without braking straight into a building. Mackenzie and her parents claim she passed out. She doesn't have any recollection of what happened, but this case actually went to trial, and Mackenzie was sentenced to 2 counts of 15 years. It wasn't just her boyfriend in the car, there was somebody else. And actually, there's a video of cameras around the neighborhood that captured the accident moments before it happened. Now, as you see, the car's pulling around the corner. The detectives talked about this in the documentary. They said a person that blacked out couldn't make that calm and collected turn. As you see closely, she goes flying down this road. You'll see it right here. And I just can't show the rest. Either way, she went to trial, and as of now, she lost. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think she just blacked out, or was this truly on purpose? But the next video is about a complete accident, titled "The Boy Swept Away in a Sewer Pipe."
The floorboard snapped under his feet at the abandoned building, and he fell straight down a sewer pipe.
Why is he in an abandoned building?
Water, the current swept him away for nearly a mile, leaving him trapped in total darkness. Over 100 rescuers searched the pipes with floating cameras, and 12 hours later, they spotted muddy handprints along the walls.
Is he alive?
They rushed to an opening nearby where they heard him cry for help.
Wait, he's
After
alive.
tossing down a rope for him to grab, they finally pulled him out, covered in sewage, but alive.
Gosh. Oh, that's gross, but great. Someone survived. That's right. This story's about a boy who was just in an abandoned house. Was he alone? Apparently, he fell through the floor, and then he got swept down a sewage pipe. Could you imagine how gross that would smell? smell. You're surrounded by poop pee. Meanwhile, you're trying to just hang in there for your life. And even drowning in something like that, that's just gross, let alone swimming in it. Now, the video says that this boy was stuck in the sewage for 12 hours, but at least they found him. What did the comments say? Respect to the rescuers for saving him. The Super Mario origin? Yo, what is wrong with people? 100 people rescuing a boy is insane. That's right, I've never heard of something like this. Now, when I type in boy fell in sewer, I don't see anything right away. But wait, is this the video right here? It seems this happened in Colombia. That's right, this took 100 people. Rescuers went in, pulled him out, and oh my gosh, he made it. Look how young he is. But the fact that he survived this, he's gonna have one heck of a story to tell his kids. Guys, stay away from the sewers. Now, if you guys don't hit that subscribe button, the water in the sewer won't be the only thing you have to worry about. Hit that subscribe button. I don't like clowns. And I also don't like driving in the winter, because the next story is about a school bus that hit some black ice and went off the road.
The bus slid off the icy road during a snowstorm.
This is
plunging
terrible.
30 feet into the lake.
Into
it
a
landed
cold lake?
partially submerged with its front end underwater.
Wait, they can get out.
6 passengers escaped through
Nice.
a broken window.
Okay,
but
good.
as they climbed out, the bus shifted
It probably
and slid
sunk.
deeper into the lake, disappearing into the frozen depths
That
with the driver
fast?
and 15 students still inside. Divers later found the bus 210 feet
no.
underwater, recovering only 5 bodies. The other 9 victims were never found and laid to rest in the depths of the frozen lake.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what to say. A bus driving on icy roads right beside a mountain that could plummet into water? Why didn't they think of having a snow day? Keeping the kids safe. And then just imagining being one of those people that you were about to escape, you're next in line, and then the bus just plummets straight down? Why did it hold up to begin with? Why didn't it sink right away? And I've always wondered, if you're stuck in a vehicle underwater, can you just not swim up? Now, the comments talk about how they feel sorry for the parents. Those 6 students who survived definitely won the lottery of life. And someone says, I live in Washington when this happened. It was all over the news. My grandpa told me about it. I'm now older and understand now. It's all disturbing to think about. I couldn't agree more. Now, if we search up the accident, it seems this took place in 1945. Oh, that makes a lot more sense. It says they were on a normal ride home, but the bus struck a rock, setting it off course. It slid down a steep embankment, rolled twice before landing upright on a submerged boulder. That must be how it held up. And I guess shortly after, the bus fell through. Now, it looks like this is the lake right here, and this looks chilling. But I still want to know, can you escape a vehicle underwater? Now, I searched it up in ChatGPT. It said, yes, in many situations you can escape, but the biggest factor is staying calm and waiting for the pressure to equalize before trying to open the door. Now, I guess it is possible, but because of the pressure, doors may become difficult or impossible to open underwater. That must have been such a scary thing to experience. Well, the good news is, it says since then, they paved the road, built guardrails, and they're making sure that this...
Vintage nieuwe categorieën verkoop je alles wat je niet meer nodig hebt. Gebruik je het niet? Verkoop het dan.
Voor de mensen die een nieuwe auto...
On the shortcut.
Dan
Wat
kan je dus zeg maar
It
gewoon...
says since then, they paved the road, built guardrails, and they're making sure that this doesn't happen again. Well, at least that's good. And you want to know what else I hope doesn't happen again? A story about a boy who was unalived by his stepmom sitting on his face. That's right, a mom was taking care of her child, and apparently to punish him, she sat on him, and he didn't make it.
340-pound mother sat on her child until he was dead. Jennifer Wilson sat on her son outside of her home in an attempt to stop him from acting up. And the even more disturbing part is that this whole situation was caught on ring footage. They said the mother was on top of the child for at least 5 minutes, which is just insane. Jennifer was the adopted mother of the young 10-year-old boy who only weighed 90 pounds.
Oh my
And keep in mind, she weighed 340 pounds.
340 pounds? This has to be some sort of joke, right? I don't even want to search this up, but when I type in mom sits on boy's face, oh no. A tragic incident involving a 10-year-old was sat on by a 340-pound woman. This looks like the stepmom right here, and the little boy, I hate to say it, but 340 pounds? You're like the size of a tractor. That is literally a weapon, especially to somebody this small. I have to see the comment. Only up to 6 years in jail? Wait, what? How disgusting. The boy's life is only worth 6 years? No way she only got 6 years. Oh my gosh, she actually only got 6 years. Jennifer Lee was sentenced to 6 years in prison for reckless homicide of her 10-year-old foster son. The sentence includes 1 year suspended to be served on probation. Wilson admitted to sitting on Dakota for several minutes, which contributed to his injuries and death. Oh, that's gotta be at least 340 years a minimum. Please, what kind of punishment is that? We talk about who's raising the kids. Who's raising the parents? That's what I wanted. I can't believe this. And this isn't even our craziest story, because the next one's about a boy with 2 heads. And apparently, he didn't make it.
He had another head growing right on top of his
boy
own.
with 2
one that
heads.
could blink and smile independently. And this head was
Really?
actually his twin that didn't fully separate in the womb.
Oh my
It would
gosh.
cry when he laughed and stare blankly when he slept.
Can he
Now,
talk?
each head was actually functioning off of their own separate brains.
No
But when
way.
he was 4, the boy was bitten by a snake, and both heads passed away together.
Oh, the story's about a boy that apparently had 2 heads. It was supposed to be his twin, but they just didn't separate. The brain functioned on his own, but there's no way the head had any vocal cords, and there's no way it could speak, could it? Now the heads is what makes this crazy, but then all of a sudden, boom, he was bit by a snake and then just died? Like, where did this part come from? Now, there's no way this one's actually real, right? If we take a look at the comments, 2 heads think better than 1. Okay, busted. Horrifying to imagine having 2 heads. But I want to know, is this real? Oh, right here. For those who do not know, he was actually the oldest survivor of a condition called Caenorrhopagus perditacus. He was born in 1783, making him the longest time someone survived that condition. If the snake and cobra did not bite him, he would have survived more years until his death. Yeah, I think that would be anyone that died. Okay, you know, if I search boy with 2 heads bit by snake, it seems that we don't find anything. Now, I understand. It says the story was made in 1783. That was before cameras, before phones, before the internet, and long before any sort of documentation. Maybe someone could have wrote it down. Did we have paper in 1783? Yes. Paper was available. Okay, that's good. So why can't I find this story? Is this it here? The 2-headed boy of Bengal, his life and early death. Now, when I searched, it seems we found an article, and well, these pictures look weird. The 2-headed boy was born in a village. It says that he looked like this. Oh, that's insane. The eyes and ears were underdeveloped, the tongue was small, and the jaw malformed, but both were capable of motion, so I don't think he could speak, but he could move. It actually says, despite the boy's condition, there was no signs of unhealthiness. It was truly the cobra bite that killed him. But back in 1783, medicine wasn't able to examine the case. It was only later they could figure out what's truly going on. Could you guys imagine having 2 heads? Some would say you would have twice the brain power.
Hello? That's not funny!
Not funny? Alright. But what's also not funny is the story about how a girl exploded in her own home. It said that at some point there was a gas leak, and I think the girl was doing her hair. It was even caught on video. And you know, when gas meets electricity, it can never mean something good.
And the video in question was a time-lapse of her doing her hair getting ready for a cheerleading competition when all of a sudden a spark goes off and the entire room pretty much just bursts into flames and the screen goes black. And the reason that this more than likely happened was there was a natural gas leak going on in the home, which basically meant that any open flame was going to set it off, and it was just a ticking time bomb. This incident also happens back in 2018, but Linda, of course, was not the person who posted it. Her family actually made the choice to do so, more than likely for educational purposes. This video is also readily available online, but of course, I am not going to be showing it in this video, so if you seek that out, your discretion is advised.
Now, gas leaks used to be a huge problem, and homes have a lot more sensors now to detect them, but that's something scary. Gas is barely something you could smell, something you can't feel, and something that could really catch you off guard. Now, I will show you guys the video. Warning, you're only going to see what happens before the incident, but even this...
It is 6:02.
Look how innocent she
Newly
was.
released video showed
She was making a vlog.
Linda Rogers getting ready for a cheerleading
And
competition
it
on
was
the
a
morning of
flat
February
iron.
23rd, 2018. In a
she's gonna go
time-lapse
plug it
video,
in.
she's doing her hair when you see a spark. Her family's lawyer says the spark was the house filling up with natural gas.
The whole house blew up. Was this an unfinished house? Blue walls. That looks like it wasn't done. Or is this the result of just a hair flattener exploding? No, that's crazy. How could that happen? The comments talk about how sad this is. How this story really hits home. She's almost exactly like my little sister. Definitely wanted to hug her tighter after this. This incident happened in February 2018 when 12-year-old Linda Rogers was, oh my goodness. It said afterward, thousands of homes temporarily lost gas service while crews inspected what happened. Federal investigators launched a long investigation, and it's been years. We should have a result. It says Atmos Energy was officially blamed for what happened, and they were fined about $1.6 million after investigating. investigation concluded. That's nowhere near enough. But at least Atmos Electricity went on to replace a bunch of their pipes and different things later on. Like, I'm glad it's safer now, but how could something like this happen? The girl was just using a flat iron. This is crazy. And just like the last incident, this last one involves a girl who fell into a septic tank. Now, we saw something like this earlier. The boy survived, but what about her?
She fell into the septic tank after walking over the cracked lid.
She's underwater.
Her mother
No.
screamed for help, and within seconds, bystanders came running.
Is she underneath
One
the
man
water?
dove in head first, but had to come back up after swallowing sewage.
Oh,
Another
that's
was lowered
gross.
by his ankles, blindly searching through the water until he found her arm.
He found her.
They pulled her out,
okay.
and she was lifeless.
I just want to say, those guys are heroes. How you just dive into the sewer? Go, people.
But a nurse in the crowd jumped in,
So a
giving
nurse came out.
mouth-to-mouth and CPR. And the girl started breathing again. She was rushed to the hospital and somehow survived.
Oh, this story is a true miracle. This little girl fell into a septic tank, was buried by water and sewage, stayed in there for I don't know how long, but she managed to survive. It was long enough that a guy dove in head first, wasn't able to find her, and had to come out because he was choking on sewage. Meanwhile, the girl's still down there. They lowered another person. This is where teamwork makes the dream work, bro. People working together is amazing. They were able to get the girl out the sewage, and eventually she was saved. Now, the comments say the people who put their own life at risk and the nurse who saved her are the true heroes. That's what I'm saying. Rose, I hear you just dove in there? Immaculate. Putting yourself in risk to save others? What a legend does. I ain't gonna lie, saving this girl is one of the greatest stories I've ever heard. And I'm so happy this girl made it. But a lot of these incidents are truly disturbing. And if you want to see something similar to this video, click this one on the screen where I investigate Roblox players that died. And until next time, guys, stay safe and sleep tight.
Like,
Zonneplan.
abonneer en
De
doe.
energie.